Welcome to Unlock Your Soul Memory. My name is Iris, and I'm a provider of hypnotherapy sessions. Within the last video, I was discussing how we could still experience emotional remnants from past lifetimes. Talking about past lifetimes within the Western culture is always a bit of a hotspot, of a weird arena you enter in, but it's super fascinating if you allow yourself to have an open mind. I was exploring reincarnation a few years ago, like on a mental level. I wanted to understand it, and I came across a brilliant book, a really brilliant book that I highly recommend by Jan Stevenson. I think the original title is How Reincarnation and Biology Intersect. So he was traveling all around the world, visiting families that had called him, where their children were remembering past lives. And those children remembered how they died, and they had certain birthmarks or remnants from these past lives, from the accidents they had experienced. And he collected those cases. He made photos and published them within the book, just showing one example here. So where you can see, okay, he was hit, and you see the birthmark right at his head and at the spots where the fatal injury happened. There are many more. I highly recommend reading this book. So the question is, can we experience remnants on a physical level from past lifetimes? And that's what I was curious about myself as well, exploring it within my own practice and within my own life. I was suffering from migraine, and funnily, I had a birthmark right here at that spot and another one right here. And I had already had that from small onwards, and my mom was going crazy because the one side was bleeding now and then, and she thought, okay, it's cancer. She wanted it to be removed. So one side got removed. When I was exploring the migraine issue, I went back to a past lifetime where I was hit by a bullet right there, and it went out at the other side. And always when I had migraine, it felt like it was an explosion happening within my head. And it felt like my eyes were pulled in, and the nerves were torn apart. It made so much sense afterwards. And I needed to revisit several aspects in regards to the migraine because it was also connected to anger and so on. But it went away. So it had several layers to it. Another thing that was super fascinating was I'm left-handed, and I always struggled to use my right hand at all. I wanted to find out, where does that come from? What's the reason behind that? And I went back to a past lifetime as a samurai. I was having a fight, a sword fight, and I lost my right arm. I somehow survived. I don't know how that's possible, but I had to continue living with the left hand or left arm only. And that's where I went back while I was wanting to explore that. I did not sort of regain my ability to use my right hand in the same way like my left hand. So I don't know whether that's actually something that I want to achieve. So that was not the goal. Fascinating thing was just to find out, okay, this could also be connected to a past lifetime. And I've seen that in clients, that when they had like a weakness within their organs, very often it also went back to a past lifetime where a serious injury happened there. It's like you are opening vast possibilities there, and the stories are unique. They are connected to your soul. But if you have any birthmarks or any physical things you can't explain to yourself, it's maybe coming from a past lifetime and it can be explored. That's the fascinating thing, because your subconscious mind holds all this information. The way how it exactly happens, I don't know. The way I'm explaining it to myself is when we had these kind of past life experiences with serious injuries, was very traumatic, and there was like a turmoil happening within the field, and very often like emotions got stuck there that need to be resolved, and that's why it stayed within the field. That's just the way how I make sense out of it. I'm curious to hear your experiences. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in regards to that. And otherwise, looking forward to seeing you next time. Take good care and goodbye for now.